Today we're breaking down our cost of living in Mexico over the past 6 months, covering everything from food and medical expenses to utilities, entertainment, and more. If you're considering moving to Mexico or just curious about daily expenses here, this video will give you a realistic look at what we spend. We're also covering rental prices in San Miguel de Allende, so stick around until the end of that. Hello everyone, welcome back to ANF Beyond.
Our biggest expense over the past 6 months was food, totaling $4,605. Here's how that breaks down. $2,410 on groceries, $724 on takeout and delivery, $234 at coffee shops, and $1,236 at restaurants. That works out to about $767 per month, or roughly about $25 per day for both of us, with $13.20 per day going towards groceries. We ate out 48 times, so about 8 meals per month. Our most expensive meal? A fancy English tea experience with friends at $148.
That was very expensive, and I wouldn't do it again.
Our cheapest meal, some amazing street tacos for just $5.37. That's for both of us, by the way, which honestly were way better than the English tea. Our median restaurant bill was around $20.80. So while dining out can be affordable, it really depends on your choices.
Our second biggest expense was medical, totaling $3,504, which honestly surprised us once we added everything up. That's an average of $584 per month, covering things like doctor's visits, $50 for a primary care doctor, $75 for a specialist. Lab work, up to $350 for a full analysis at the local lab. Medications, prices vary from $10 for generics to $57 for my migraine medication for just 4 pills. So that's what I pay for 4 pills for my migraine medication. Francisco's dermatologist visit at $128 for a full body scan and 5 areas frozen off. I also did some physical therapy, which was $30 per session. On top of that, my surgery in August added $2,215 to our expenses, but most of the costs were covered by the insurance. Otherwise, it would have added another $11,000 to our total.
Speaking of insurance, we paid $3,246 for our private international health insurance, which we renew every 6 months. That's about $538 per month for both of us, or $269 each. For us, health insurance is non-negotiable, even though we don't file small claims to avoid resetting our deductible. We go into full detail about the coverage in this video, so check the link out in the description to watch it next.
Our utility costs totaled $1,420 over 6 months, which is about $264 per month, and here's the breakdown for that. Electricity, we average about $141 per month. I think that we average more for electricity because we have a transformer, which most people do not. And because of the transformer, it bumped us up to another level, right? And we pay more for electricity than the average person would pay in San Miguel. But we did a full breakdown on how Mexico's government-run electric company charges for power, and check out that episode up here. LP gas, which is about $85 per month. The way we get our gas delivered, because it's different for different homes, it depends on your setup. We have a stationary tank on our rooftop, and then there's a long gas line that runs all the way to the street level. And then the gas truck drives in and connects a very long hose to our valve, fills up our tank. The other option for a lot of people is they get cylindrical tanks delivered to their homes. So it just depends on what your setup is. Water, $25 per month is about what we spend for water.
The water here does run through lines in the streets to everybody's homes. However, it's not consistent. The pressure fluctuates. Sometimes they shut it off. So it's not that reliable. More reliable here in San Miguel than in other parts of Mexico where, for example, in Oaxaca, we know areas that don't get water for days and days and days. And the water they do get, not so good. But here it's okay. However, to combat the unreliability, we have to have storage tanks. And so we have an underground cistern and we have 2 roof-mounted tanks that we use to fill with extra water in case the water gets shut off.
The next one is trash collection, which we spend about $12.50 per month. And we're not paying the city to pick up our trash because that is free. We get our trash picked up Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3 days a week. And we don't get charged for that. So when we pay $12.50 per month, it's because we live in a pedestrian alleyway and the garbage needs to be taken to the corner at a very early morning hour. So we pay one of our neighbors to do that for us. So we put all of our garbage in a designated spot. He picks it up early in the morning and then he takes it out to the corner in a, what do you call it, like a cart.
A wheelbarrow.
Yeah, a wheelbarrow, and he pulls it out there for us. And we pay him $12.50 per month to do that for us. Utility costs really depend on your home size and your lifestyle, but this should give you a solid idea of what to expect.
Next up, personal care. We spent $1,406 over 6 months, averaging $234 per month. This includes makeup, skincare, hair products, and, well, let's just say Antonieta is very particular about what she uses.
Yeah.
Since we use a mail forwarding service from the US, we pay extra for some things we could probably find here, and I'm talking similar brands. So this number could be lower.
Yes, but for some of the items that I buy, I price compare with what it costs me at the pharmacy and what it costs me to buy it through Amazon, have it delivered to our P.O. box in Laredo, and then have it brought down to me in Mexico. And a lot of the times the item is $5, $8 cheaper to do that than to buy it here in town. So I just, place the order and do it the other way.
Yeah, for sure. It's worth price comparing specialty items like that and also some electronics. It really is more economical to just buy it in the States and have it brought down with this service.
Over 6 months, we spent $825 on phones and internet, about $138 per month. And here's how that broke down. We paid $39 for a basic US cell plan, and that's only just to keep our access to two-factor authentication for our US accounts. We paid $49 for landline and internet, which back when the exchange rate was 17 pesos to $1, we were paying almost $59 for this service, and now we're paying $49, so we're saving $10.
Now it's just back in August.
Yeah.
From August to now.
Yeah. We pay $54 for 2 Mexico cell phone plans, each with 14 gigabytes of data. Prices are creeping up in Mexico, but with the drop of the peso, we're paying a bit less now than we were in August. So now only if we could ditch that US phone plan we barely ever use. Has anyone used Mint Mobile while living outside of the US? They have a $15 a month plan that sounds really interesting to us, but we would like to know if you guys know anything about it or have ever used it. And if you found another solution for the two-factor authentication while abroad, let us know in the comments.
Over 6 months, we spent $1,261 on cars, about $210 per month, not counting some recent repairs. Here's the breakdown. $156 a month on gas. 92 octane runs about $5 per gallon here. $47 a month on insurance for 2 cars.
$47 a month on our car insurance seems pretty inexpensive. I'm not sure what people pay in the States for car insurance. Now, granted, we've never used our car insurance because we've never gotten into a car accident. Thank God.
I used it once when I got stuck in Querétaro. I had an engine breakdown, and I used it to call the tow service that the insurance paid for, and they brought the car from Querétaro, which was like 50 miles away, all the way to San Miguel de Allende to the mechanic.
But I'm talking about like a major crash where we have to go to the hospital and the car is very damaged. No. We don't know how that would really work and how much they would really pay for the car and all that other stuff. So we've never had to use it like that. Hopefully we'll never have to use it like that.
I know. But yeah, $47 a month, that's $23 per car. It's really good. Yeah,
it's very inexpensive. Now, granted, our cars are not new, so that also has brought the cost down for the insurance.
A little bit. It was never that much. And $7 a month on miscellaneous expenses like parking. Car maintenance in Mexico can be super affordable, or it can get pricey, depending on the repairs needed. For example, last week, we had to replace the transmission and engine mounts, plus do a regular service. which cost us about $1,200. Now, we did not include this in the numbers today because they fell out of the range of the 6-month period, but it's good to know that sometimes there are some unexpected expenses and you have to be prepared for that.
And I think that it's just also because we drive on cobblestone so much that things get really damaged on our cars.
Particularly the engine mounts.
Yes.
We've replaced them twice already, and our shock absorbers.
The shock absorbers go often, and so it's way more expensive to do maintenance on your cars in Mexico because you have to do it more often than you would in the States, for example.
Yes, but I think it's still the cost of an equivalent repair in Mexico is a fraction of the cost of what it would be in the States.
Yes, it's a fraction of the cost, but you have to do it more often. I don't know, how often would one change
an engine mount?
An engine mount in the United States on your car?
I don't think we ever did when we had cars in the States.
I don't think you ever have to. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. Over 6 months, we spent $875 on software and subscriptions, about $146 per month. And that covers things like Microsoft, Adobe, cloud storage, and VPN services, plus a few other essentials. And speaking of VPNs, we use ExpressVPN, and it's great for security, privacy, and accessing US streaming services. We use it on all of our devices. We even configured it on one of the home routers so that any device that's connected to it, like Apple TV, Roku, or Amazon Fire Stick, gets access to US apps and programming. We find it to be very essential if we want to stream things like US Netflix, for example, or Amazon Prime in the States, things like that. If you're interested, we'll drop a link in the description where you can try it for free for 30 days. They're not a sponsor, but we do get a small referral bonus. So it's an easy way to support us while taking advantage of the free trial. It's a win-win situation.
And speaking of streaming apps, we spent $584 over 6 months on entertainment, about $97 per month. That covers all our streaming services like Netflix, Prime Video, and even watching the Super Bowl on Tubi.
And also PBS.
And also PBS.
Over 6 months, we spent $518 on shopping, and that's about $86 per month on clothes, household items, and other essentials. And for property tax, we pay $515 per year, which is way lower than what we paid in San Francisco.
And a few extra expenses. US mail forwarding service, $104. That's that service that we use to bring things in from the States whenever we order things on Amazon and also our correspondence. And credit card fees, $95, which Antonieta just reminded me we actually did not pay with cash because we were able to use our airline miles to pay that yearly fee off. Adding it all up, we spent $19,262 over 6 months, or about $3,210 per month. Now, this does not include Antonieta's surgery, the car repair, or housing costs.
Now let's talk about housing costs. We're homeowners, but for those of you interested in renting in San Miguel, here's a general price range, just to give everyone an idea of what it costs to rent something here. $500 to $750 a month gets you a small, unfurnished, further from the center type apartment or a small home. $750 to $1,500 a month gets you a furnished 2-bedroom or a larger unfurnished home. $1,500 to $5,000 a month gets you a luxury home near the town square, great location, really big, fabulous type place, fully furnished. And it actually could go even higher than $5,000, honestly. It's unlimited. So your total cost of living in San Miguel could range from $3,500 to $8,000 per month, depending on your rental choice and your lifestyle.
A common question we get is, can you live in Mexico on Social Security, or can you live in Mexico for just $1,500 a month? The answer, yes, but it requires a very frugal lifestyle. Curious about a low-budget life in Mexico? Check out this episode next, where we explore whether it's possible to live here on just $1,500 a month. See you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.